afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It is live, and it is Rovers go to QPR in what has been dubbed a must-win game, of course. We're going to have, of course, full coverage, game watch-along, all that kind of stuff. But today, right here, right now, we're, of course, building up to the match. And, of course, I thought I'd chuck in today to do the actual game preview. I've had a bit of a nightmare this week, so I couldn't get the preview out in time earlier this week. So I thought, whatever, we'll chuck it in the pregame. We'll come at it early. And of course, hopefully we can catch up with Jacob and Pete, wherever they are in the world. So let's get into it, of course. And again, if you're new, subscribe. Your one-stop shop here for Blackburn Rovers. Of course, Championship and World Football, boys and girls. But it's all about this then. It is a build-up. Of course, at the end of this, we should hope to have the team news at you live. So let's get into it then. QPR up against Blackburn Rovers at Loftus Road. Rovers coming at you in a bit of a shitty bit of form right now. Up against QPR also in a bit of shitty form. That's right. Gareth Ainsworth, your manager, 50 years of age for QPR. He's been at the helm since 2023. Not even been a calendar year. So he's, of course, still trying to find his parking space. He's managed against Rovers. That's, of course, in his time with Wickham, as well as his time at QPR 3 times. He's won once, lost twice, picking up around about a 1 point per match ratio. His ratio against JDT is good news for us. He has to pick up a point against us. The most valuable player is Ilias Chair, ranked in around about cool 10 million euros. And, of course, a quick overview of their squad. There's 26 players in there. 25.7 is your average age, and 16 foreign players with 8 national team players as well. Let's take a look at those players then. Here they come. Asmir Begovic was the big question mark. There was a red card given out to him midweek, but it was rescinded, which I do believe is bad news for us, because then you look at the backup keepers there, Archer, Walsh, probably not too much to get excited about there. And of course, their defense has been reshaped or refaced this coming season with no more Rob Dickey. However, Steve Cook has come in, an experienced head, to, of course, guide these guys in the right direction. Kenneth Powell's been the main goal scorer for them on the left-hand side. They got Osman Kake as well. Reggie Cannon newly signed. He might be feature as well. Jake Clark-Salter also good at this level. So these are a team that we shouldn't underestimate. And when you look at their midfield and, of course, towards the attack, you can see just why. We've got experience in Jack Colbeck there. Samuel Field is a handful. Ilias Chair is, of course, creative genius. And then, of course, further forward, you've got the Lyndon Dykes, who can score goals. He can, of course, was linked with us as a Rovers team. And they got Chris Willock, who was linked to leave QPR this season, but stuck around for the time. And then they got the young gun, Sinclair Armstrong, who looks a treat. It looks like a right old player. And, of course, I think it's only a matter of time before he makes a move to the big time, of course. So he's a prospect. But these are the goals coming at you. Kenneth Powell has scored 3 goals for QPR this season. Jack Colbeck's already got a couple. Lyndon Dykes, Dazelle, and Sinclair Armstrong also have one to their name. The main man, though, has been Asmir Begovic. If he's on form, they might get something. And, of course, let's not underestimate these guys. We are in a woeful state. We cannot win games at the minute. We may play good football, which we're sick to the back teeth of at the minute, but we need to win some games. Kenneth Powell also there with 7.01, and sandwiched between Begovic and Powell is Ilias Chair, creative genius who could and should be playing at a higher level than this. You would imagine, of course. Kicking on forward then, let's take a little look at, of course, their average rating is a 6.81. That's, of course, coming from SofaScore. They played 10 matches. They've only scored the 8 goals, 16 goals conceded. Of course, 0.8 goals a match. That's, of course, the ratio at the minute for QPR. They hit the roadblock a couple of times. They've, of course, had no penalties thus far. And, of course, quick look at their ball possession rate is around about 37.4, which is quite low on the spectrum of things. And they've had a couple of red cards so far this season. This is their resume heading into this. Of course, what we're looking at here, a couple of defeats in a row, including a 1-0 loss to Leeds at Ellen Road. That was midweek. That's, of course, with the red card for Begovic. Prior to that, a home loss to QPR, which, of course, we just recently lost to them as well. Then prior to that, a couple of points with draws against Swansea and Birmingham City. Let's take a look at what's on the horizon for QPR after the international break. They're looking at Huddersfield Town, which could be a good match to get some points under their wings. And then, of course, West Bromwich Albion. So back-to-back away games before home game against Leicester, Rotherham on the road, and then Bristol City at QPR as well. So those are what's on the horizon for QPR. What about the team then? Well, this is what I'm thinking. Again, we'll find out very, very soon. Of course, we're going to go with Begovic between the sticks, Clark-Salter, Cook, and Kakai in the back 3. Then you got Powell on the left-hand side, Smith on the right. not necessarily that far forward, but that, as fullbacks. Then you got Field and Colback in midfield with Chair, Armstrong, and Dykes some way, somehow shaping the attacking lines. Of course, that's my pick for QPR. We'll see how close to the money I am. And then, of course, let's take a look at the mighty. Will it be yellows? Will it be blacks? Of course, it is a Blackburn Rovers, of course. And this is mainly aimed for any QPR fans hanging around. Of course, that's the badge we want to see to be the victors at the end of it. And of course, this is the grand scheme of things, the kind of tail of the tape for Rovers. JDT's our manager, been at the helm since 2022. He's managed against QPR twice, picking up back-to-back wins. One with Ainsworth, one maybe with Beale, or maybe with what's his name, Critchley. That was, of course, back in the day. Tyrese Dolan is our most valuable player. Because there's a debate they said about that one. 28 players in the books, 10 foreigners, 1 national team player, and of course 23.1 average age for Rovers players right now. Of course, these are our players. Again, this is more for the QPR folks. We're expecting Welshtat to be number 1 for the time being. I thought James Hill did an all right match against QPR, against Coventry. He had a good rocket, and of course he looked a player, not necessarily a guaranteed first team player, but definitely one that could be an argument could be said that he should be playing. Hayden Carter, Dom Hyam, Joe Rankin Costello, I think they all featured. Callum Britton, was he involved? Again, I watched that on a phone, so it was quite difficult for me to get a picture of it. Then, of course, into midfield, no Hedges. He's out. Adam Wharton did not travel, so maybe the likes of Bloxham or Garrett will get a shout. And then, of course, up top, maybe Niall Ennis. He's edging closer to the starting whistle, is Niall Ennis. So we are expecting to get some minutes today. He didn't get any minutes midweek, so that's a story to have as well. Of course, let's take a look at the goals then. Of course, coming at you from Sammy Smodic, 6 of them thus far. Then Harry Lender with a couple. He might be, of course, on the team sheet as well. We'll find out in about 6 or 7 minutes' time. Hedges, no longer, well, not there, of course, for the time being. Neither Gallagher. McAday has been playing, and Sigurdsson has got 2 goals already this season in all competitions. The main man, though, has been Sammy Smodic with a 7.39 average rating. 7.13 is Adam Wharton, the next best thing, of course, in the silver medal. And then bronze goes to Ryan Hedges. Again, both those 2 players are out for this one. Then, of course, let's take a look at the average the thing for everybody. 6.91 is the average for Rovers at the minute. 10 matches played, 13 scored, 21 conceded. That's quite a hefty number. We do need to get that sort of back to a normal level, because goal difference bit us in the arse last time. Will it bite us in the arse this time? 1.3 average goals scored. Of course, we've had 5 hit the woodworks 5 times, 55.6% possession, 1 clean sheet, and of course 1 red card thus far. This is the resume for Rovers, of course, coming into this on successive defeats against some, troubling opponents. Leicester expected to be up there. That was a little bit of a flattening scoreline for Leicester. The 1-0 loss to Coventry, I feel, what I saw of the game, which I saw about 80 odd minutes, as soon as the goal went in, I was done. And I had a lot going on my mind, and I still do. So I'm not going to be as lively as you would expect. I say that. I'm probably still going to get lively. A 1-0 loss to Coventry. I thought we were equal to them, if not better than them, until the goal, and then it all went to shit. We do a win. We do a win. As you see, 4 defeats of the last 5. The only highlight really is that 5-2 win over Cardiff in the Cup. Everything else has been diabolical. Looking ahead, though, for Rovers, it's a bit of a caveat for us. The rest of the month. No disrespect to these teams. We've got Cardiff at Ewood. We've got Millwall on the road. We've got Swansea at Ewood. And, of course, our little bonus match there against Chelsea and then Norwich City in front of the cameras. And I will be there. I won't be there. I'm covering that game. I will be able to do it. So that's that. That's the horizon. What about the team then? This is what I expected. Again, coming at you in about 4 minutes' time. We're going to have Walshtat. We're going to have James Hill on starting on the left, potentially Hill or Pickering. Then we have Hyam, Carter, Britton. Where are we? Did I not do it? I didn't switch. There we go. So Walshtat, Hill, Hyam, Carter, and Britton. Sigurdsson on the left, McAday on the right. Travis, Smodic, Moran, and I'm going for Niall Ennis up top. We'll see if I'm right. I could be horrifically wrong, but that's, of course, to see what happens. Let's take a look at, of course, again, the game in grand scheme of things, the recent history between these two sides. Of course, we played each other 6 over the last 6. We picked up 4 wins. They picked up 2. We did pick up a win last round at QPR, Loftus Road. 3-1 win. It was with Gallagher, a brace. Yes, I said that correctly. Smodic as well with Tim Ibrahim on the score sheet for QPR. We've actually won 3 on the bounce against them. However, 2 of the last 3 were at Ewood Park. The last games at Loftus Road, though, last 6 look like this. 3 wins to Rovers, 3 wins to QPR. But, of course, just the 1 win in 4 for Rovers, and that was the most recent one. So take from that from what you will. Kicking on forward though, let's take a look at the form heading into this. Then we've got a quick overview of the form, but look at the home form compared to our away form. QPR yet to win this season at Loftus Road in all competitions. Rovers 3 away defeats on the bounce. We have picked up a couple of away wins. One was against Watford, big one there. Of course, one was in the cup. We like to talk about that one because that was one of our highlights of or the highlight of the season so far. And then, of course, we have a look at what we can expect from this game. The strengths of QPR: protecting the lead, stealing the ball from the opposition, keeping possession of the ball is their weakness, finishing scoring chances. A weakness, avoiding offside, defending against attacks down the wings, defending set pieces, defending against long shots, defending against through balls. Of course, their style of play are down the right-hand side, long balls, through balls, crosses often, play with width. They're very aggressive, and they do have a consistent first 11. So the names that I did mention in that starting 11 are more than likely going to feature unless there's some injuries or some glaring errors that I missed there. Counter-attacks, those are one of Rover's strengths. Chances through individual skill, coming back from losing position and scoring chances. Our weaknesses, though, scoring chances. Big one, that one. Of course, defending against through balls, defending against skillful players, defending set pieces, avoiding fouling in areas, avoiding offside, defending counter-attacks, defending against long shots, and stopping opponents from creating chances. We do have a long list of course, weaknesses there. Style of play is, of course, through balls, often short passes, possession football, consistent first 11, and opponents play aggressively against us. Word in my ear that Jacob is getting ready, is just putting the makeup on right now. QPR will be showing a high number of cards. Blackburn will dominate possession. And of course, another grand look at things here. Of course, QPR's form: 1 win in, what is that, 9? Rovers 4 defeats out of 5. Not great. We have a more valuable team that they do, of course. We have a younger age. They have more national players, though, more foreigners as well. We'll kind of split through this quick, and then, of course, we'll hope to get live team news and live team news reaction from Jacob, who's just getting ready. 31 times we played each other since 1993. We've got 18 wins for Rovers, 5 wins for QPR, 8 draws, of course. Biggest win for QPR was a 4-2 win. They've scored 23 goals against us. What we're looking at, 0.74 goals a game ratio. Rovers' biggest win for QPR against QPR was a 4-0 win. We scored 43 goals, 1.39 goals a game ratio. Just 1 win in 5, though. 33% form for them. We are 20th. That's horrifically, I don't like saying that. 10 points on the board so far. Meanwhile, QPR are on 33% form without a win in 5. 22nd spot in the table, 8 points on the board. The bookies have QPR 2-1 for the victory. 13-10 is your away win. 5-2 is the draw. Of course, quick look at what's going on elsewhere around the championship. We already know Birmingham did beat West Brom 3-1 yesterday. Big result for them. And of course, the table looks something like this. This was made yesterday. I just couldn't get to it yesterday. Of course, Birmingham now must have propelled up to 5th at least. West Brom probably down to 6th as of recording it. But again, games will reshape that in a dramatic style. Of course, look at the goal scorers here. Jack Clark is running away with it with Adam Armstrong in good company. And Sam Smodic is in bronze with 6 goals on his own. And of course, the assist leader is Dan James. What about my prediction? Well, I'm going to give you my prediction right here, right now. It is, yes, believe it or not, I'm doing it. I am going for it. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Rovers on the road. We need to win this game. We need to head out of this into the international break on good spirits. And of course, that is my short take on that. So I'm going to don the ear muffaroos. And of course, we're going to go to Jacob, who hopefully will be with us. Jacob, first and foremost, can you hear me? And how have you been?
I can hear you, Dirk. I'm not sure whether I've had enough time to do the makeup. I'm still in my pajamas, if I'm being brutally honest. But
you're still in your PJs. Oh my days! Yeah. I have an excuse because it's 9 a.m. You do not have an excuse unless you just got to bed. I don't know. Well, anyway, give us your feeling heading into this game while I dig up the team news. What are your hopes and dreams and expectations for this game at Down London?
A win, essentially. Yeah, I mean, we've got a pretty good record against Ainsworth. I think the only time we have lost win was during COVID away at Wickham. Obviously, we had that smashing win during that season. 5-0 was it 4-5-0, something like that. And then last season, we obviously went to Loftus Road and got a really good win as well. So yeah, it's a much needed win today. It's scary to think this could be a relegation 6-pointer. Who would have thought we'd be saying that at the start of the season when Watford absolutely hammered them? But here we are.
Here we are indeed. Of course, the team news is in. So let's do this right here. And I'm going to read it out to you. So we got Welsh up between the sticks. Of course, we kind of knew that was going to be the case. Hill remains in the team. We got Carter, Hyam, and Pickering. So no Britain, which is a bit of a weird one. Tronstad is Britain on the bench. Tronstad starts. Ranky Costello in midfield. Smodic, McInday, Sigurdsson, and Dolan on the bench. We have Britain, Scott Warren, Travis, Garrett, Moran, Gilsian, Ennis, and Telalovic. What do you take from that, Jacob?
I mean, Travis isn't playing again. What's interesting, I think obviously at the minute he's practically playing as a winger, so I can understand why Rankin Costello's kind of being preferred. Obviously, in those kind of attacking positions, he is just not really natural at it. He has got better, I'll admit. Obviously, with like the assist for Sigurdsson away at Ipswich, it was a really good pass. But I can kind of understand, I suppose. But he's also not confident enough with under the pressure to kind of be in that sitting role just in front of the back four. So seems he's kind of got a bit lost, I suppose, with it all, with this new, system and whatnot. Is it Smodic's up top again as well? Is it, Dirk?
I
think,
cannot confirm or deny. I just see the names on the sheet and how they're playing, but I would imagine so. I would imagine he would be the focal point.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I just don't think Smodics is utilised best there. Unfortunately, I think we have to play one of our strikers. I know obviously Ennis has just come back from an injury and Talalovic was playing, semi-professional football last season. But to get the best out of our main talisman right now, we're playing him down the middle. We did it so many times last season, and he's not big enough, and he's not really fast enough for the balls in behind. If you ask me, he's not an Adam Armstrong. I think he's obviously much better in his natural number 10 position, and I just don't think we're utilising him. I think he was very quiet in the game midweek, and obviously he was being played down the middle again. And I think obviously Sigurdsson being on the bench is a bit of a weird one again as well. I think when he's got to be one of our main men this season if we want to have any hope of making the playoffs. I think he needs to start playing games and get some confidence.
Sigurdsson is playing. I don't know if I missaid that. He is playing. So I'm expecting him down the left, but he definitely needs to get more miles in the.
Okay. So is Malconde and Dolan playing as well?
They are indeed. So it's a interesting attacking spin on things. Maybe a change of formation. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see how they play it. Maybe Sigurdsson down, I don't know, down the middle or Dolan, who knows? It's going to be a thing. But while we're there, let's quickly switch gears and have a little look at QPR's team. And one surprise to me is no Cook in defence. He is the more experienced head, but we've got Begovic between the sticks. Of course, that was a debatable one because of his red card that got rescinded. And of course, you would play him because he's experienced and a decent, solid keeper, excellent keeper. In fact, Clark Salt at the back, Dunn, Lakash. Powell, who scored a buttload of goals already. Cole back in midfield. Dezel, a player we were linked with. Duke McKenna, not too sure about that guy. Young guy. We got Elias Chair as the main attacking threat or creative threat. Young Armstrong, which I talked about in the preview there, and Lyndon Dykes, who can score goals, is a bully up top. And they do have on the bench. They do have Kake. We have Willock, and a whole bunch of other young guns in there. Anyone out of that stands out for you that we should be worried about?
I think obviously Begovic being back in net is definitely a blow. Obviously, seasoned veteran really when it comes to the goalkeeping department. So we can kind of count ourselves a bit unlucky in that regard. Ilias Chair to me is always a player who excites and stands out. The same with Willock, but obviously he's starting on the bench, which is a positive for us, I would say. And obviously them two are just dynamite when they're playing at the very best. So obviously if QPR are going to get anything today, I would suspect it would be from either of them men with a bit of magic. I just remember that goal when we went to QPR in a midweek game. I think it was, and he absolutely banged one in Ilias Chair. Bradley Johnson just not pressing him down, and he has that in his locker. And yeah, Lyndon Dykes, obviously, someone who's, a good 10, 15 goal a season man for you at this level, I suppose. Someone who we've been linked with more than a few times. So, obviously, like you said, he is a bit of a bully. And, we have had frailties at the back this season. So, I'm hoping Carter and Hyam can kind of deal with him. I'd be disappointed if they couldn't. But with the way the defence has been as of late, it wouldn't surprise me if he was, bullying him about, unfortunately.
So, of course, our second away game in a row, Coventry in midweek, and I know you managed to catch that game. And moving from that game, was there anything from that game, any positives that you can kind of push heading into this game, our final before a 2-week break, which may come at a wrong time for us? So, anything that you can give us hope?
I think most of our games have, given the fan base hope. I don't sit here like I sat here during the Owen Coyle season where we were playing torrid football and we were just, we knew we were going down that season, or we knew we were going to be in a relegation fight. I genuinely don't think this team is capable of being that bad that we end up in a relegation fight. I think it is just waiting on something to click. You know, unless all the managers are having us on, every single time we lose, it's Rovers are the best team we've played against, or best team we've played against with the ball. Mark Robbins said. I think it is just simply when you get to that final third, it's just making the right passes or just taking that decision to shoot. Because we were all over Coventry the other night. Absolutely dominated them, and it was daylight robbery really that we didn't at least get a point from that game. We deserved that at the very least. Um, and yeah, it's obviously it's frustrating, and something kind of has to change just simply because we're 10 games into the season now, and we're just obviously pissing points away at this point. So hopefully, I mean, obviously he's gone with Dolan, Marconde, Sigurdsson, Smodix. Hopefully that actually does see Smodix go back into the number 10 position. I assume that's going to mean Dolan's down the middle, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I'd prefer that over Smodix being there. So I'm glad that he's changed things up. He's being proactive, and yeah, I think obviously today is a must win. I think we need to go into that international break with obviously a bit of positivity, and obviously QPR is a team that are going to be down there in a relegation fight this season. I think everyone's kind of known that since the first game, really.
Yeah, and of course, following on from the international break, there are more pleasing fixtures this month, or the start of this month, and the back end of last month has been pretty rough. With, I guess we caught Middlesbrough at the right time because they're starting to get the results in. Sunderland have been a good side this year. Again, it's Mowbray likes to peak early, and hopefully they'll trail off a little. No disrespect, but hopefully they do. And then a Leicester team, an Ipswich team. So it's been a torrid month. Coventry, again, like you said, I think I watched that. I was watching on the phone in a car, not driving, but there was a good. I felt good. I felt confident. I thought Coventry are not getting anything out of this. It just felt like you said something missing. That final piece of the pie. But there are favourable results or fixtures coming up. Cardiff, Swansea. Cardiff, of course, we already played them once. We have an idea maybe of what's ahead. Millwall as well. So there are some better fixtures for us. So, but yeah, this would be great. A nice little tonic. But if I have to push you, what's your prediction for today?
If I was to go with a prediction today, I'll go with a 2-1. I'll try and be positive, but yeah, I think we will concede. I think the goal we conceded against Coventry was just unacceptable. The shot that leads to the goal, obviously it strikes the woodwork. Just absolutely no pressure on him whatsoever, and I think that has been a huge thing this season. For some reason, our midfield is just absent, and players aren't getting closed down, have too much time on the ball, and people are just teams are just walking through our midfield, and I do think that is because obviously we're playing Adam Wharton as that single pivot, and he just simply doesn't have the legs for it. So yeah, I'll go with a 2-1. I think obviously we need the win today desperately, and like I said, we've got a favourable record against Ainsworth, and hopefully, obviously, against his boyhood club, he goes easy on us today.
You're right there, Jacob, and I do appreciate you stopping by for this. Again, yes, let's hope everything goes our way and we can get a bit of momentum in our wheels. I think that's what we need. We need a little bit of positivity and, of course, a result. Maybe even a Telenovic goal from the bench. That would be great to get his confidence flying high, and of course, then maybe the likes of Ennis, Gallagher, Hedges. Again, we are a little bit threadbare in our more experienced pros. They're the ones that are on the nursing table right now. But I'll hope to catch you later. Of course, I'll let you get out of here, and of course, I'll sort you out shortly. And of course, we will hope to talk about a result from this one. But that's Jacob. Any closing words?
No, I think, like you've said, I think we've got some favourable games coming up now. I think it's obviously time to start putting points on the board. We can't afford to be dropping points to QPR, Cardiff, Swansea. Obviously, Millwall as well. Obviously, we're in a position where it's still early in the season in the grand scheme of things. You know, you look at Middlesbrough last season, they were rock bottom and they managed to turn things around. You look at Aston Villa, the season they made playoffs and went up. There's been teams in worse positions that have managed to turn things around, and hopefully, if we can just find that missing ingredient that's missing from this really good football, and we can just click in terms of pressing people down, being a bit more solid at the back, and obviously just getting goals. Essentially, I think we can be a team to be reckoned with this season.
Yeah, and I want to kind of flag something there. So, the Middlesbrough Villa. The one thing that they did, though, to restart this was change their manager. Is that a thought? Is that consideration, or would we be doing a major setback if we did consider that?
I think we're more at risk of the manager walking or leaving for somewhere else, to be honest, than us sacking him. I think we'd be crazy to get rid of Thompson in truth. But if the results were to persist the way they are, I suppose we'd have no choice to really to almost salvage the season, like you're saying. Obviously, sometimes it can just take that change in the dressing room in terms of a voice to just kickstart a team season. I don't think we could afford to sack him, if I'm being honest with you, with the the rumours going around of potential FFP breaches and whatnot. But he looks like a man, Thompson, who's very frustrated with, obviously in the summer we only spent $1 million. I think he would have been hoping for more, but obviously there was the whole thing with the Venkis going on over there in India. And obviously in January he got messed about with O'Brien and the lad from Rochdale. And to think, obviously we missed out on goal difference. I think O'Brien comes in and gets us that one extra point. So I can understand his frustrations. I can hardly blame him. And yeah, I think we'd be daft to get rid. I'd just hope that we can do it with Thompson. Like I said, I think just a little bit of improvements at the back. Obviously, just need to find that bit of luck up front. If Ennis can come in fully fit after the international break and hit the ground running, that might be what we need really, because we are just missing a man up front, really, aren't we, at the minute?
That's right. We are missing that missing ingredient up top. Let's do something a bit mad here. Let's do something a bit mad and bring the Pete Daddy-O. So, Pete, it's a three-way. Cheeky. It's me. It's you. It's Jacob. How are you?
Good. Hello to the proper northerner there. I get to meet the man himself, Mr. Jacob Ward. Jacob, looking fine this morning. Does he got the robe on there, Derek?
Not today. He's in for dry cleaning. It's in for dry cleaning. Anyway, Pete, we'll hand it over to you, Jacob. Appreciate you being here, and of course, we'll catch you later. Pete, what's it feeling like in Philly right now?
The Philly work here is to be done today, Dirk. It's a red October here in Philly as the Phillies gear up for the National League Division Series here tonight. And for the pregame, we got the Roverseas pregame, but we've also got a Rovers game ahead in Philly here today. And we're here at Citizens Bank Park in South Philadelphia. We've got our board here. We're representing Dirk, courtesy of Sexy Hoagie there. She's done well. She's done good work there. But the Rovers are up for one today, Dirk, for sure. I heard you talking about the manager there on our side of things. I agree. I think it would be crazy, wonky, whatever, what have you, to do that to our Rovers man himself, the Danish man. But, Dirk, if you look on the other side of the table there, Gareth Ainsworth, his first game was against the Rovers, and he took a licking to us there in his QPR Hoops debut managerial run of things there for the R's themselves there. So Gareth Ainsworth, probably, could he start for his first game against the Rovers as a QPR manager and end it today with the Rovers defeat at Loftus Road today? We'll see, but I do think the Rovers need to focus on themselves today, Dirk. Lineups out, a couple changes there. I guess we got to give Britton a little bit of rest there. He's been our man. He's been on the front stage of things there, Dirk, and Britton's been, stellar. So I don't know if we're just changing it up. 4 losses, you have to do something, but Britton's been a, man with a plan, and he's been, steady as it goes for the Rovers there. So a little bit of unsure there, but I do like James Hill getting the nod again today. We know Adam Warren's out, and Tronstedt, I think, got the nod as well today. So a lot to take a look there as we go into the game here in less than an hour. So excited to head down into the Capitol today, Dirk, and watch something up at the Hilltown Tavern there in Fairmount for the Rovers here today. Dirk, I'm in Philly. I'm gearing up to head over there soon. It's hopefully going to be a good one for us today.
All right. Well, I just had a question in here from Marcus J asking, is there a big Rovers following in Philly? He's curious.
Oh, Dirk, it is growing exponentially so, Dirk. It started with a wee couple there about 2 years ago, and we're growing steadily so. So we average, in the 10 to 20 per so people over there at Hilltown Tavern, and we're getting the nods there. People are watching, and people say they don't want to switch their team, but the Americans, they do things a little differently here. So people might be switching their teams here across the pond, across the Atlantic. So I'm not saying they should be doing that. That's a little bit taboo. But, Dirk, when you got the Rovers team, when you got the 1995 champions, when you've got history on your side, when you've got Philly Rovers and Roverseas running it, Dirk, you gotta pick the winning side, the blue and whites. It's red October, but hopefully we can turn this into a blue and white October today.
All right, Pete, appreciate that. And of course, score prediction from you out in Philly. What's it going to be today?
Dirk, I'm going to run conservatively so here. I've been the optimist ever so. Every game here, every pregame with you at the helm. But on the bounce in the wrong direction here today, Dirk, I have to look. I'm going to go with a mere 1-0 win to the Rovers today, Dirk. We're going to skip this one out here today. We're going to come out. We're going to get 3 points. We're going to come back on track today. We're going to give it to Gareth Ainsworth there today, and we're going to send him back in. I'm hoping we can do it. I think if you were going to say goal scorers there, it's got to go to maybe Arner or Smotage. It's just going to be, your hopefully your people that come in. I know you said Telalovic off the bench. That would be obviously pristine, picturesque, and story-worthy and noteworthy. But, a lot of people injured. We need somebody to step up, and the guys, Smotage and Arner, I'm looking towards to get one again today.
All right, Pete, appreciate that. Appreciate the positivity. Always there. And of course, thank you for the variety that you always provide. Any closing comments before we let you run out of here?
I'm just excited, Dirk, here to head down to London today. And hopefully we can get this as 2 away games here for the Rovers here in a row. And October's been rough start for us, but let's get back on track today, Rovers. Let's Give it up to the boys, the lads. They've been putting in the efforts. They've been putting in the work. Let's do it again today. Let's get the goals. Let's get something over the line. Stay with the lads there, guys. Stay with them. And JDT will see us through. Pete with Philly Rovers here, reporting in South Philadelphia for the Roverseas pregame show, guys. See you later, Dirk. Good luck in the studio today. Bring it home for us.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it. There you have it. That's Pete, of course, closing out the show. It's been a fantastic pregame. We did a preview. We had Jacob, no Rove this time, and we had Pete live on the streets of Philly. Now I've got to go put my makeup on and get ready for the actual watch along. I've got to check on my pooch. Please, of course, give my love to my puppy here. She's going through the mill. She's still sick. She's home, though. So give some love to the puppy. We need not only a Luna recovery, we also need a Rovers victory. If we can get both, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I'll take the Luna recovery, though. She needs our TLC. So I'm going to check in on with her. Of course, we'll be back with the live show in about 20 minutes. And I've got to hook Jacob up as well. So until then, guys, I'll see you soon. And, of course, looking forward to this one. It's the last one for a couple of weeks. So let's enjoy it. And, of course, I'll catch you later. And appreciate anybody stopping by. And again, subscribe.